So welcome back, everybody. Today we are joined by Roger, who is the CMO of #Paid. So welcome, Roger, to the show. Maybe you can start by just telling us a little bit about what you guys do at #Paid.
#Paid is a creator marketplace. We connect brands and creators, and our platform allows for them to execute their creator marketing from beginning to end. We manage the entire process, not only the process of getting a campaign live, but managing the licensing, the rights for individual assets, for pieces of content. We'll manage, again, the entirety of your creator marketing.
Okay, cool. And who do you usually serve the best? Like, who is the ICP on the receiving end?
Yeah, the majority of our customers run 2, 3, 4 campaigns with us. Those customers, the ones who stay and continue to run campaigns, tend to be enterprise consumer brands. So you're looking at brands like Coca-Cola or Wella or Sephora. These tend to be really great customers of ours who we've been working with for a long time.
Okay. And so being the CMO, I'm sure you wear multiple different hats. Like, what is the main thing that you focus on around your roles?
The number one thing we're out of startup phase and we're growing fast. The biggest focus for me is making sure that selling is easier, that our salespeople have an easier life as a result of marketing's activities. And so a big part of my focus is understanding what can we be doing better as a marketing organization to make sure that when sales is in a conversation with a prospect or a customer or an expansion opportunity, that conversation is as easy as possible. And so whether that is building our credibility and reputation, whether that's getting them more at-bats and more conversations with people in that account. Again, my biggest focus is always, how can I make selling easier?
Okay, I like that. Simplify it right down to like literally being as simple as possible. I think a lot of people overcomplicate the process, and so it's good to hear that there's somebody out there trying to simplify everything and make it easy for the salespeople.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. And it's incredible to there's a big difference when you're not known, when you're a startup and you're unproven, when your credibility isn't maybe where it should be yet, where it needs to be yet. It's incredible how many questions you get from prospects or customers. They will nitpick on one issue or another issue or a third issue. But when you are well known in the space, when you've been doing a good job of building a reputation, what happens is they get into the sales cycle, and those things that may have been objections in the past, all of a sudden they gloss over because there's this inherent trust that they have that has been built up by a lot of marketing's activities. Not only marketing, it's a company effort, but largely there's a lot that marketing can do to make that happen. When you get fewer objections, sales cycles are shorter, conversion rates are higher, and so we're seeing that happen.
Awesome. And are you guys using AI at all in the platform?
We do, yeah. We use AI. We actually have some customers in beta right now. We've built a predictive enterprise customers. They run what are called brand lift studies. And what we've done is we've analyzed thousands of campaigns, thousands of creators, and we've used AI to run a predictive lift study, not just before, but after the campaign goes live. So we're able to look at and we're able to determine within a couple points of the major brand lift study providers, within a couple points, our AI predictive tool is able to determine how you did on affinity or consideration or intent, which is quite remarkable. So that's one way that we're using AI in the product for our customers.
Okay, nice. And are there any big initiatives maybe over the next 12 months at #Paid?
Definitely. Yeah. I think we have a very aggressive cadence of product releases. So I think we had maybe 4 or 5 this quarter. We'll have another 4 or 5 next quarter. This predictive lift product that I spoke about, we have customers in beta right now, but we'll fully release it to the world likely in Q2, early Q3. So we're looking forward to that. We're releasing new social channels, releasing more features for our customers.
Yeah, I see you guys are growing pretty fast. I see that you always seem to be hiring on the LinkedIn, right? So that's always a good sign. So then flipping the script a little bit, Roger, like what do you think have been some of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome to get to where you are today and to continue that growth path?
We do a really good job at keeping our customers. We have a very high NPS. The trickiest part for us, and I think it is for many companies, is acquiring customers at a cost that makes sense for the business. And so we target enterprise customers, and it's very difficult to get to them through, there are channels that make it very difficult to get to them. And so for us, I think the toughest part is how do we reach those specific people as efficiently as possible so that we can still grow at the rates we need to grow, but be profitable at the same time. That has been the greatest challenge, is balancing growth, not even balancing it. You have to achieve those growth numbers, but you also have to do it in a way that's profitable, which means that acquisition, which tends to be a major suck, a cash suck, it means that you need to figure out a way to acquire customers in a way that is efficient. So that's been the toughest.
Okay. And well, perfect. Next question then, like what have you found to be the best way to acquire these customers?
For sure. We ruled out a lot of digital channels early on. I think they're wonderful and great if you're trying to reach a bit of a broader audience. For us, I want to make sure that if I spend $1, I don't want 50 cents to hit my customer. I don't want 20 cents to hit my customer. For example, programmatic, there's some data out there that, out of $1, maybe couple cents will actually be used to hit my customer. That is grossly inefficient. And it's very similar for many, many channels, to be honest with you. So what we shifted to a couple of years ago was running our own events. So a lot of our marketing efforts revolve around inviting people to our controlled experiences, our owned events, where we can curate exactly the guest list. And I know that if I spend $1, the full dollar is being spent on that customer. And so every dollar is spent as efficiently as possible. Now it scales to a certain point. Of course, it's only so scalable. We have scaled it quite a bit, but there is a point of diminishing returns. But for us, it's finding where that is and maxing that out entirely before we scale into channels that have broader segmentation.
Right. Got it. And these are mostly online events?
These are IRL. Yeah, so these require travel. It requires us being there physically in person. It requires people in different cities for sure.
Okay. And obviously you've had success with that. Like it's a very interesting approach. I imagine that it's an enormous resource drain, but are you saying that it's very much worth it?
Absolutely, yeah. So it is, you have to, we ran a couple tests for sure. We ran a couple tests. They worked very well for us. We consistently track attribution to those efforts and we look at how much pipeline or how much revenue is generated from those. And so they consistently show that they're efficient and they're supporting our goals to maintain profitability. So they have been effective for us for sure. Yeah. I would say that the toughest thing at making that switch is you got to get buy-in because it's a massive switch. I think when people look at what marketing should be doing, they think digital, social, programmatic, ABM tools, intent tools, and there's a whole, but you could spend hundreds of thousands on MarTech and generate very few pipeline dollars. And so being able to shift the team, it's our credit. Our leadership team has been incredible. We have a very strong leadership team. They understand what we got to do. They understand our customer well. And so, but I would say one of the tougher things with doing that is making sure that everybody understands why we're doing it and then making sure that we're tracking things appropriately so that we can report and say, hey, we made this decision. Here are the results. And then you asked, what's a big part of my job? I would say the second biggest part of my job is not always coming up with ideas, but when something is working, it's making sure that I have the resolve and the determination, the courage to say, we need this amount of money right here, right now. This is where we're going to grow and being able to live with that decision. Mm-hmm. It's worked out so far.
Yeah. I love that. I've never heard that before where you like own your own events and run them. It makes so much sense, but you're the first person to tell me that you're doing that. And many people tell me they go to events and they fly around the world and it's very expensive. They pay all this money for these booths and things like this and it works, but never running their own. So,
yeah.
Okay.
And it works. Those are, I think, one of my favorite channels for a long time has been events. You're able to, because two things happen when you attend an event. The first is you're able to meet a customer or prospect and turn them potentially into revenue down the line. But the second thing is you're face to face, you're forced to speak with customers, hear from them, learn from them, which gives you a whole bunch of wonderful data. And so I wouldn't despise that approach at all. In fact, we do some of that as well. But owned events has been extremely good for us, especially because we have incredible experiential marketers. And so when you come to one of our events, our mandate and our philosophy is always build memorable and distinct moments for customers. Whenever you come to a hashtag paid event, I can almost guarantee you that you're going to remember it. It's not going to be forgettable. That's worthwhile.
Perfect. Okay. So I guess then finally, Roger, like, let's say that you had a magic wand, right? That you could wave over one big problem right now and you could solve it like that. What would that big problem be at hashtag paid?
I don't mean to be cliche, but one of the toughest things is hiring. to execute a lot of the ideas that come up, and not even my own, but there are wonderful ideas that are brought up around the company. And in order to execute on them, you need really, really good people. You also need really good people to come up with good ideas so that then I can go and fight for budget or fight to get something done. Finding those people is always the trickiest and always the hardest. Understand and learn about someone in maybe an hour and a half of talking to them, which is always extremely difficult. I know I'm not the only one who will say that, but that tends to be the most difficult part for sure, which is why, we tend to run many hiring cycles. They last a bit.
Right. Yeah. I'm going through a process at the moment, and I wish I just had an endless pool of A players I could just go into and just pay them whatever they need and just pick them out and know that they would kill it. Yeah. Cool.
When you find them, they are worth their weight in gold, as they say. They are wonderful people. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, fantastic insight. Roger, if people are listening, they want to check you out, maybe they want to connect with you, or they want to see what #Paid is all about, where can they go and how can they connect?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. You can put Roger FIG and my last name will come up because it's a little bit long. It's Roger Figueiredo. If you want to learn more about #Paid, it's #paid.com, spelled out HASHTAG paid.com. And the social channel's always great. Team's always posting really good content, so feel free to follow.
Perfect. I'll make sure to leave links in the description. Highly encourage everybody to go check out what the team is doing. I think you guys have got some really amazing brand assets, especially, and really exciting stuff. And if you're looking to join a kick-ass team, then they're hiring. They're always hiring. So check them out. Anyway, I appreciate the time today and the insights. Like I say, I haven't heard some of them before, so I really appreciate that. And thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you in the next episode.